Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the meaning of a word you've said your entire life has quietly changed. Somehow, so have you. Maybe it's the word literally, which no longer means exactly true, or the word friend, which no longer requires you to even have ever physically met the person. These shifts might feel small, but they reveal something bigger. Our language is constantly drifting, and we drift with it. Today, I'm going to clarify a term that's vague, confusing, and yet surprisingly powerful: linguistic determinacy drift. My goal is to show you what it means and how it affects our thinking, and why it shapes more of the world than you even realize. First, what is linguistic determinacy drift? Linguistic determinacy starts with one idea. The language we use shapes what we're able to think. Some cultures don't use left or right, they only use cardinal directions. So instead of saying they need to tie their left shoe, they would say they need to tie their shoe on the southwest region. Their language shapes how they navigate space. That's linguistic determinacy. But over time, meanings change, and the influence that language has over our thoughts changes too. That's the shift. That shift is the drift. Think about how the word text became a verb, and how Google stopped becoming a company name and started becoming a search for something. These aren't just vocabulary updates, they're shifts in how we conceptualize information and communication itself. Drift is slow, subtle, so natural we often don't notice it until afterwards. Now that we know what drift is, let's talk about how it affects the way we think. Language drift can change our emotions around ideas. The word self-care used to mean hygiene. Now it means protecting your mental health. Words change, and suddenly entire wellness industries follow. Drift can also change how we interpret behavior. The word ghosting did not exist 20 years ago. Now it describes a modern social behavior that feels universal. Before the experience existed, it was harder to name, harder to discuss, and harder to understand. These shifts don't just name things, they shape how we feel about them. Finally, why does linguistic determinacy drift matter? Because language drift shifts culture itself. Words like woke, queer, and privacy have carried dramatically different meanings across generations. Those shifts affected political debates, identities, and even laws. Drift is the reason why sometimes younger and older generations misunderstand each other. The reason digital culture warps at lightning speed. And it's the reason why words we choose today can influence how future technologies talk about us tomorrow. As we close, I want to bring us back to the heart of the concept. We defined linguistic determinacy drift. We explored how shifting language shifts thoughts, and we saw why this slow, subtle drift shapes both individuals and cultures. My purpose today was to clarify this confusing term and remind you that language doesn't simply reflect the world, it continuously reshapes it. So I challenge you, next time someone uses a familiar word in an unfamiliar way, not just hearing slang or evolution, you're hearing the world drift beneath your feet. Because language isn't something we just use, it's something that quietly uses us. One word, one shift, and one drift at a time.